Good morning, I'm Rachel Dailey. This is my fabulous co-teacher, Susan Rogers. You are at Pocahontas Middle School. This is an 8th grade English class, my fantastic students. And you're about to see a word talk, which is how we start most days after our choice reading time. Okay, so you guys know what to do. Get out your notebooks. We're going to section 1. Got it. All right, when you get to your next available page and label it, I want you to draw this little chart with 3 columns. You can do it tall ways or sideways if you like. And you're separating into I know it, I maybe know it, I don't know it at all. So we're not just obviously going to look at one word. You're going to look at a list of words. They all have something in common, which will be very obvious when you see it. And your job first, before we talk about anything else, is just to decide where these words fall for you as a group. So you're looking for ones you know and recognize and you feel like you could define because you've seen them in the real world, in another class, wherever. Ones that, like, the maybe ones are ones maybe you've heard and you have an idea of what they mean, but if I asked you for a definition, you couldn't give me one. And then there might be a couple that you just do not know at all. Okay? Let me give you like a minute, talk about it together, sort these words where they belong. Begin.
Forecast. I know forecast. Forecast. Know it.
What do you see immediately that you know? Foreboding, forecast, forefather, foreclose, forefront, foresee, foreshadow.
Forefather. You know, yeah. Remember that word? Probably socialization from. So then you
Okay. You know foreshadow?
Yeah.
You could define it?
TH.
Where have you seen it?
Like in English, you did foreshadow.
Okay.
I know forecast.
But maybe if you can't define it, maybe it's a maybe.
I know forecast and foreshadow.
What can you define foreshadow? Huh? You've heard it, but you can't define it.
I know it's like
Forefather.
show me what it's telling me what's gonna happen.
Okay, so maybe for you that's a no.
No, but I know it now. But I know it.
And now that he told you, you know it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I know it.
Yeah, that's maybe.
Forecast is like the weather. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like today's forecast.
Mm-hmm.
Forefront. I think I've heard of that. I don't know. Foresee, I forward.
What do you know? What do you have? Forecast? Foreshadow? Can you define that?
We did foreclose.
I don't know.
Okay, so if you've seen it
We did it.
and you don't know what it means, maybe it's a maybe. Yeah. You feel like you've seen foreclose?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, maybe you've seen it before. Okay. Okay, we ready?
Yes.
You ready? All right, which of these, so we can keep them all on the screen, I'll go green for the ones that we feel like we know. So I heard the same one over and over again right away that everybody knows. Which one did you know, Krushik?
Forecast?
Definitely forecast. What's a forecast?
The weather.
The weather. Okay. Anything else we feel like we really know?
No, I know.
I know foreshadow.
Some of you know foreshadow. Some of you recognize foreshadow, but if I asked you to write down a definition of it, you maybe couldn't. If you could write down a definition of foreshadow, raise your hand. Okay. So should we go know it or maybe?
Maybe.
Let's go maybe. We've got a little bit of prior knowledge of that. We recognize it maybe from what class?
This class.
From English, but we haven't talked about it a ton. I've mentioned it. Okay, anything else you know? Anything else we need to turn green? Okay. What else have you seen? Is there anything, so you said you saw forecast in English, or not forecast, foreshadow in English. Is there a word up here that you've seen in another class?
I've seen foreclose.
You've seen foreclose in a classroom?
No, but I've seen it.
But you've seen it?
I might have saw
Anybody else seen that word? Foreclose, David had. You have. Some of you have never seen that? Okay, we might put that, we could do both. We could do, this is where we're going to pretend that's red. So that's kind of in the middle. What about a social studies word?
Forefather.
Forefathers? Do you know what a forefather is? Okay, let's turn that one, we'll go orange there. Okay, what about, we've got foreboding, forefront, foresee. Are those all we don't know?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, my question is, why are we looking at all of these words? Because there's a prefix. Okay, and what is the prefix? For. Okay, so underneath your chart, write the word, the prefix for, in big letters, F-O-R-E. And we know that if it's a prefix, it has a meaning on its own. And it's not a particularly difficult one. Let's look at the one word that we feel like we all know. What makes something a forecast? What makes it a forecast?
Like they check the weather and stuff.
You check the weather when? When are you able to see a forecast?
Like every day.
Every day, yes. On the news, and if you've watched the news and they put up the forecast, how many days can you see?
Like 7 days.
The next 7 days. So what makes it a forecast, and also when we look at the prefix for, what do you think that means? Before. So it's a forecast because it's weather you can check before it has happened. So in every single one of these words that maybe we don't know as well, the fact that for means before can help you figure out what it means, what the whole word means. So where you wrote for, put a little dash, and you're defining it as before. For is before. Okay. So what you're going to do next is I'm going to give you a couple of sentences. And you're going to need to figure out, based on the prefix for and what you know it means, and then like the second half of that word. Because if you take away the for, the word is see. And you know what see means. Okay? So based on your knowledge of those word parts, you're going to figure out which 4 words go in each one of these blanks. Even the ones that you don't know, you should be able to figure it out based on the context clues in the sentence, the parts of the word that you do recognize, and the meaning of the prefix. Okay, so y'all work together and just figure out which word you think is going to go in which blank, and then we'll do the last little part together. All right, let's take a couple minutes. Let me grab it.
Yeah.
Okay. Since course selection forms were due this week, high school has been in the blank
We already did
of many eighth graders' minds. It is. It's the 31st.
Michael, do you have any clue?
We're choosing one of these. Okay, so we're talking about course selection, and it's this week, right? So it's been in the blank of eighth graders' minds. What do you think? What is that trying to say? Since the forms are due this week, and you had to pick your courses.
Yeah, main thing.
High school is in the blank of your mind. When you had to pick your courses for high school recently and do that form, what did it make you think about? What classes am I going to choose? What's high school going to be like? So it took high school and put it where in your mind? Okay, let's look up here. Look at that first row. Foreboding, forecast, forefather. Do any of those make sense? Okay. Put it in the foreclose of your mind. Because you wouldn't be closing it, right, if you're thinking about it. Forefront, foresee, foreshadow. If you're thinking about it a lot, you said it's in the back of your mind?
Yeah. Actually, no, it's in the front.
It's in the front of your mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we could say high school has been in the forefront of many eighth graders' minds. Okay, how could we use the word for?
So we have next one. Because foreshadowed is kind of showing you something else.
Like when you wake up in the morning, what's in the forefront of your mind? Like I gotta get ready for
Which
school.
one?
That's in the forefront of your mind.
They had
You're
to
not
make
thinking
a
about
house
it.
payment in 6 months. They hadn't made a house payment in 6 months, and the bank was preparing to, clearing the papers to blank their home.
To blank that something awful
Foreclosure.
is about to happen. Okay,
So what would
foreshadow
foreclose
or
mean?
why do you
Close
say
the account. Yeah.
Close that one?
Yeah.
Okay. And now it does say Dickie's mom is tearing up, which helped.
He was. All right, let's see. Let's see.
He was terrified to receive
Knew
the
something awful was
email
about to happen.
requesting him to stop by immediately, and
His
the stern look
mom,
on her
maybe
face
Daisy, also us.
now did
You
nothing
guys
to make him
said
him
there
feel
was a
better.
term up here that reminds you of English.
Are we on the last one?
This is the story. On the first one? Okay, course selection forms were due this week. So high school has been in the blank of many eighth graders' minds. Okay, so if it's the main thing, because you're having to think about it, you're having to plan for next year, so it's become the main thing in your mind. Look up at that list. Which one of those is a shadow a main thing? Your shadow trails behind you in the back. Which one of those words is suggesting if something is the main thing, where is it? It's in the front. No.
All of a sudden, y'all know. All of a sudden, y'all know.
That's the way it works.
They were all clueless before. Now what you show us, everybody knows it.
It's because I have magical powers.
I guess so. His mom kept 2 sacrifices, which helped to link this.
Okay, where have you seen this?
And the story, examination day.
Yeah, an examination day. So his mom was tearing up and sounding anxious, which helped to blank that something awful was about to happen. Foresee or foreshadow? Here's my question. There's a difference between those two words. If I foresee something versus foreshadow, which one of those is clearer? Foresee, right? It's visible to me and I see it. Did we know, could we see what was going to happen to Dickie? We could not see directly. We had a what?
We had to foreclose, no.
Well, no, just in your own words. We were thinking about it, but we weren't quite sure. So is that foresee or foreshadow? Because the shadow is like a hint of something. It's like that little thing you can see behind someone, but it's not the whole picture. So it helped to foreshadow.
They had not made a house payment in 6 months.
All right, hold on. Let them write down real quick. Oof.
I'm gonna watch that every day.
Okay, go ahead.
Imagine this was a station day last time.
Okay, they had not made a house payment in 6 months, comma, and the bank was preparing papers to blank their home. Is this a positive word or a negative word? This is a negative word.
Four body sounds.
That does sound negative, and so does that.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're closing down the house. So that's a real life
I don't think the
term.
officer gonna see it.
If your home gets foreclosed,
Yeah.
they're closing your mortgage early because you're not paying for it.
We walked to a supervisor.
Instagram makes me mad.
Blank. So this word is going to be a feeling. So we got to look at context to figure out what is that feeling.
TikTok wants to be Instagram so bad. Instagram wants to be TikTok.
Okay, he's terrified. Why?
Yeah.
Why? In the sentence, why is he terrified? What's happening?
His supervisor said we will say it's not right.
Yeah, which if you get that kind of email from your boss, that's not a good feeling. What else? Then when he went to the boss's office, what happened?
There was a stern look.
Okay, so she looks angry. So he's having a sense of a positive or negative emotion. A negative emotion. What do you guys think? Does that sound right? A sense of foreboding. He was terrified to receive her short email.
Foresee.
A sense of foresee.
No, it's
Foresee would suggest that he, what? Foresee. If you can foresee. Yeah, and does he know why he's in the office? If he knew, he might not be so scared. So let's put that in there. All right, wrap up what you're doing, and then we're going to talk about these. Okay, we ready?
Yeah.
All right, so course selection forms, you just turned them in hopefully this morning. Since they were due this week, high school has been in the blank of many 8th graders' minds. Before you tell me a word, what did you say just informally? You had to pick your courses for high school. So high school has been what in your mind? In the works, you said what?
forefront.
You said, to me, you said the main thing,
Yeah.
right? It's the main thing you've been thinking about. So if something is the main thing, it's in the works, what word did you put in the blank? Forefront. It's in the forefront of your mind. And it's in the front of your mind before you even have to do it. You're thinking about it already. Okay? Dickie's mom kept tearing up and sounding anxious, which helped to blank that something awful was about to happen. There were 2 words people were choosing between for this one. Does anybody have the 2 words you were trying to decide between?
Foreshadow.
Foreshadow or foresee. So over here, we were talking about, we know fore means before, so we can get rid of that part. But we're talking about the difference between see and shadow. If you can see something, it's what? If you can, so we're talking about in the story, the mom is tearing up and sounding anxious. If we could see, what would we have known? If we could see what was happening, what would we have known? That she was worried about what? What was she worried about?
Something about that.
We knew she was worried about her son. Was it clear to us what she was worried about? No, because we didn't know what. Yeah, we didn't know what the deal was with the exam. So it didn't allow us to foresee because we weren't sure of what the outcome was going to be. So what is a shadow? Where's your shadow?
On the floor.
It's on the floor. It trails behind you. Can you clearly see your features in a shadow? Can you see your eyes and your lips and all that stuff? No. So a shadow of something is like you know what it is, but you can't see it clearly. So when we knew something was wrong, but we weren't sure what, that's foreshadow. It helped us to foreshadow that something awful was about to happen. Okay, they had not made a house payment in 6 months, and the bank was preparing papers to blank their home. What'd you put?
Foreclosed.
How did you know it was foreclosed?
Closed their home out.
Yeah, they're getting like closed out of their home. And also, we knew we needed a negative word. We've talked about before how like sometimes when you don't know a word, if you just get the sense of whether it's positive or negative, sometimes you can look at a word and tell that it's a negative word. So to foreclose on their home. All right, last one. He walked into his supervisor's office with a sense of blank. So this is going to be a feeling, a sense that this person has. So we got to read the rest of the sentence. What sticks out to you in the rest of the sentence that's telling you how this person is feeling? In the context clues of this sentence, how is he feeling?
Terrified.
It says he's terrified. Why? What terrified him?
Got an email from his supervisor to stop by.
Which is not good news. If you have to stop by immediately but you don't know why, usually something is wrong. And when he got there, what was the case? So he has to go to the office immediately, and when he walks into the office,
Stern face.
she has a stern look on her face. So whatever this word is, does it need to be positive or negative? Yeah, the feeling he has is negative in this sentence. So if we look back at this list, and we've already used some of these, we knew foreclose was negative. Which one of these other words just looks negative to you even if you don't know what it means? Yeah? Is seeing a negative thing? Not necessarily. What do you think?
Foreboding.
Foreboding. What does that word sound like?
Like
What's another word that's for something-ing? Not foreboding, but
forgetting.
forgetting, forbidding.
Yeah.
Those words also seem negative. So he had a sense of foreboding when he walked into the office. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the lesson.
Go Hawks! Bye!